Alrighty, come walk with me if you will. So, essentially what you have here is, like Trump was saying, insiders fighting for insiders, and it's funny, the more you go down the loophole of all this shit, it seems to be more and more true. We got to do a final fucking project here in 6-7 weeks, but it's all coming up fast. Then we all pick Charlie Kirk, and it's very difficult to not automatically just start screaming about the whole thing, because I essentially thought I had it all under assumption or understood, and I vaguely knew this as a theory, but nothing more. Because it's pretty point blank, more or less, what you have was a brave young man killed for what he believed in, and essentially a true patriot, someone who loved the country. And he'd go and he'd do all these things and whatnot, and it essentially could be in the form of political violence, but that's what I'm still trying to figure out. So essentially, you take all this and put it the rhetoric of how the left always calls our party fascists and Nazis and all that horse shit, and you get it's funny how I know the generation before World War II, I guess they were called the silent generation, or that could have been after, but it's funny how more or less you motherfuckers, Gen Z, seem to be the silent generation, because you're all about the wrong things, or you're not about nothing, or you're all quiet and assuming and submissive, more or less. But because essentially what you could take away from Charlie Kirk's assassination is that, yeah, you had a young man who was killed for what he believed in. And isn't that the true American way? How if, he was still so young and whatnot, but it's funny though how the shit I was looking at, how he goes and takes a stance on Israel, a day or two before all this happens, and essentially, how can that be the case when the Middle East has been so fucked up for so goddamn long? So, basically, how it's just not hard to maybe pin it or point it back to the global elitist and Bill Gates and Hillary Clinton all being cyborgs and having removable faces and skin suits, not so that's blackpilling. But I don't know. I don't know where the bullshit ends and where all the facts of it begin, because I wasn't even aware how much corruption is on this too. So this is gonna be fucking hard. And how for me, I have to pretty much show how, in the context of this, how the left does this shit, and they bring all this violence, and not only that, the security measures, and then essentially how Trump's near assassination attempt, and unfortunately Charlie Kirk's, the one that got through, was more or less a year apart. So with that being said, they're gonna roll on this and see what the fuck we can come up with. Until then, until I emerge again, stay heavy and don't let them fucking brainwash you. Alright, I'm out.